Oh, no, really? Seriously?
Yeah.
All right, look, here. How can I not talk about yoga as an Olympic sport? Seriously, really. And this is it briefly. This is it briefly, okay? Number one, it's not yoga, it's asana. That's clear. Yoga as an Olympic sport would require you to develop some method of judging a person's inner peace, clarity of perception, empathy towards another person, and equanimity under all circumstances, okay? Now, if we can develop some objective criteria for judging that, and people want to throw their hat in, plus add a little bit of breath control, maybe longest Om, I'd go for that. I mean, but you've got to get, not just the body, you've got to get the breath, the mind, the senses, and the spirit somehow involved in a situation where people can compete and be judged on objective criteria. Then you can call it yoga in the Olympics. If it's not any of that and it's just asana, then at least call it asana competition. That's the first thing. Now, if you're just calling it asana competition, you're just talking about the body, all right? And if you're just talking about the body, then you would have to demonstrate that somebody who has nothing to do with yoga, but who is an accomplished gymnast or dancer or contortionist or whoever, can't just come in and do exactly the same thing that these yoga people are doing. What these yoga people are doing on stage, it's beautiful and wonderful and all of that, but the strength, the balance, the concentration, the flexibility that's required to do those poses, any mid-level gymnast has that. Any well-trained dancer has that. And if you can get a gymnast or a dancer or someone else to come in and do exactly the same things that these highly trained yoga people are doing, then what's the friggin' point? That's not an Olympic sport. Tell me any other Olympic sport where someone can come from a different discipline and do it as well as someone that's been training in it for years. You know, a lot of divers started off as gymnasts, but you can't take an Olympic diver and put him in the gymnastics competition. That wouldn't work, or the other way around. But if you take any diver or gymnast or dancer or synchronized swimmer or whoever and put them on stage and ask them to do these asanas and they're doing it just as well as the yogis, then there's no point. What they're doing on stage is not that special. I'm sorry, it's not that special. It's not, I have worked with world-class bodies. Athletes, dancers, gymnasts, contortionists, they can do all of that stuff and they have never taken a yoga class. So it's not that special. And the other thing I would want to have demonstrated to me is that there is some yoga organization or tradition that's interested in this other than Bikram. This is a big friggin' publicity stunt for Bikram, and that's all it is. And I'm willing to be proved wrong on this. So you show me anyone else that has nothing to do with Bikram that wants to put yoga in the Olympics, and I'll reconsider my opinion. But let's be honest, it's a big ass publicity stunt for Bikram. I think it's brilliant publicity, just like I thought it was brilliant publicity for William J. Broad to put the injury conversation out there to sell a book. Doesn't make it any more palatable, you know? And so that's my take on asana competition in the Olympics. Now, you know, I don't know what kind of news story is going to emerge between now and next week that's going to make me want to, because there's been one thing after another. The whole year started with the whole, you know, yoga can wreck your body. It slid right into the John Friend thing, and that kind of morphed into the, you know, yoga started as tantric sex cults conversation. I've not been running out of things to, and just when I thought it was dying down, then they have the friggin' yoga competition here in New York City. So I have no idea what's coming down the road for next week, but we'll see, and it should be interesting. So thank you very much. I'll see you next week. All right, guys.